Although you know that what you are reading is impossible, you still do not want to keep yourself away from the world of science fiction. Science fiction works, which have a very small share of reality, have the quality to make the reader think. If there really was a world like the one we read, what would happen? What would we have to do? How would we help? Etc. Among the science fiction books, especially novels written in dystopian style, can also cause us to worry about our future in many places. In this article, we will only deal with the book part of science fiction. In this list, which we have selected among the best and most read science fiction works written so far, we will share the 15 most impressive and most read science fiction books for you. If you like reading, not watching, you can continue reading our article for science fiction books. The best science fiction books of all time. Although there are different opinions and lists of the best science fiction books of all time, some books often stand out on these lists. Of course, these are just some examples, and many other books may also be on this list. Also, since everyone's personal preferences are different, everyone may have a different opinion about the best science fiction books. The War of the First Worlds, H.G. Wells. The book, first published in 1898, is about the Martian invasion of Earth. The book was also seen as a criticism against the understanding of empire prevalent at the time. War of the Worlds contains many ideas that shake the author's established order. The book describes the impact of being invaded by a more advanced civilization such as the Martians on humans, and how humans develop defense mechanisms. The Invisible Man, H.G. Wells. The book is the first book in which the idea of invisibility was first put forward and processed, and it is a work that has an extremely important place in the field of science fiction. Written in 1897, The Invisible Man was written as a qualification to the question of what would happen if I were invisible. Since the book has a very gripping and fluent narrative, it is a unique science fiction book that you will definitely enjoy reading. 3. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley, has been adapted to many cinemas and theaters. Although the book, which is in the science fiction category, is mostly known as a horror novel, the fact that the author shows his creativity and is written in a fluent and understandable language does not separate the book from the science fiction genre. Frankenstein was first published in 1818. The book, which includes many characters, is the name of the person who created the monster, not the Frankenstein monster. 4.1984. George Orwell 1984, written by George Orwell, is the author's most famous and most loved cult book. The book is written in both science fiction and political style. This book of the author is also set in a dystopian world. The book, which contains very impressive lines, describes how people are mechanized and their ability to think is taken away from them. The Time Machine, H.G. Wells. Written in 1895. The Time Machine is a work with 2 films between 1960 and 2002. Although it is a thin book, it has a very important place among the books written in the science fiction genre at the time it was written. H.G. Wells wrote this novel based on a story he had published in the school newspaper. 6. The Island of Dr. Moreau. H.G. Wells, the book is based on a man who survives a shipwreck and finds himself on a deserted island where he encounters superhuman animals. The island is inhabited by creatures created by a scientist, Dr. Moreau. Dr. Moreau has created new creatures by conducting genetic experiments to overcome the boundaries between humans and animals. However, the inhuman behavior of these creatures leads to a confrontation with a terrible reality. The book deals with issues such as how far man's desire to control nature can go, the limits of science, and man's relationship with animals. Dune. Frank Herbert Dune, voted by readers as the best work of science fiction of the 20th century, is considered one of the most epic messianic narratives in modern literature. The book tells the story of young Paul Atreides. The universe created by the author has succeeded in establishing its reality in the minds of readers for years. We recommend Dune to anyone who wants to read a good science fiction work.